Welcome to Walmart. Have a great day. Senior Chief Petty Officer Mike Doc Rodriguez said the same words 500 times a day, standing at the entrance. Blue Walmart vest, smiley face sticker, greeting customers. Nobody knew that 14 years ago, Mike Rodriguez didn't greet shoppers. He saved lives. On battlefields, in combat zones, under fire. As a Navy SEAL medic, for 20 years, Mike performed battlefield medicine in the most dangerous places on Earth. Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. He saved over 100 lives. Marines, SEALs, soldiers, civilians. They called him Doc, because when Doc Rodriguez was there, you lived. But there was one life Doc couldn't save, his wife, Maria. She died 14 years ago, in childbirth, giving birth to their son Carlos. Mike was there, right beside her, holding her hand. He was a SEAL medic. He'd saved 100 lives under enemy fire, but he couldn't save his wife. Maria bled out, postpartum hemorrhage. The OB team did everything they could, but it wasn't enough. Maria died. Carlos lived. And Mike quit the SEALs. I'm a medic, he told his commander. I save lives, but I couldn't save her. What's the point? He moved to a small Texas town, raised Carlos alone, and took the simplest job he could find. Walmart greeter. No life or death decisions. No blood. No trauma. Just welcome to Walmart. Have a great day. For 14 years, Mike buried his past. Nobody knew he was a SEAL. Nobody knew about the 100 lives he'd saved. He was just Mike, the friendly greeter, with his teenage son Carlos, who'd visit after school. But today, everything would change, because today, there would be a shooting at Walmart. 8 people would be critically wounded, including a pregnant woman, and Mike Rodriguez would have to decide, stay buried in his past, or become Doc one more time. Mike Rodriguez grew up in El Paso, Texas, border town, working-class family. His father was a paramedic, his mother a nurse. Medicine is in your blood, mijo, his father would say. Mike wanted to be a doctor, but college was expensive, so at 18, he enlisted in the Navy. He became a hospital corpsman, Navy's version of a medic. Then he heard about a special program, Special Operations Combat Medic, training to become a SEAL medic. The selection process was brutal, BUD/training, Basic Underwater Demolition, SEAL. Only 25% pass. Mike passed. Then came the medical training, Advanced Tactical Combat Casualty Care, Battlefield Surgery, Emergency Procedures Under Fire. Mike excelled. By age 24, Mike was deployed to Iraq, First Gulf War, 2003. His first combat casualty was a Marine. IED explosion, leg blown off, bleeding out. Mike's hands shook. This was real, not training, but his instructor's voice echoed. Your hands save lives, trust them. Mike applied the tourniquet, started an IV, stabilized the Marine. Medevac arrived. The Marine lived. From that moment, Mike knew this was his calling. For the next 20 years, Mike deployed to every major combat zone. Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Yemen. He saved Marines pinned down by enemy fire. He saved civilians caught in crossfire. He saved fellow SEALs hit by shrapnel. His teammates called him Doc. Not because he was a doctor, he wasn't, but because when Doc Rodriguez was there, you felt safe. Doc's got you. You'll be fine. Mike performed amputations in the back of Humvees, chest tubes in bombed-out buildings, tracheotomies under mortar fire. He saved 103 lives, officially confirmed, but the unofficial count, probably 200 plus. The Navy gave him medals, Bronze Star, Silver Star, Navy Cross, but Mike didn't care about medals. He cared about bringing people home alive. When Mike was 34, he met Maria. She wasn't military, she was a teacher. Second grade, in San Diego, near the naval base. They met at a charity event, veterans helping local schools. Maria approached Mike. You're one of the SEALs, right? Yes, ma'am. My students drew pictures for you guys. Thank you cards. She handed him a stack of crayon drawings, stick figures with "Thank you, hero," written in kid handwriting. Mike's eyes filled with tears. This is beautiful. They wanted you to know you're appreciated. Mike looked at Maria. She had the kindest eyes he'd ever seen. Can I buy you coffee? To say thank you? Maria smiled. I'd like that. They married a year later. Maria understood the SEAL life, sort of. The deployments, the secrecy, the danger. I know you have to go, she'd say. Just come back to me. Always. When Maria got pregnant, Mike was in Afghanistan. She sent him an ultrasound photo. It's a boy. Mike cried in his tent. A son. He requested leave. Came home for the birth. Carlos was born on a Tuesday. Mike was there, holding Maria's hand. He's beautiful, Maria whispered. Just like you. For 2 years, Mike tried to balance SEAL life and family. But it was impossible. Maria raised Carlos alone most of the time. Mike was deployed 8 months a year. Mike, I need you here. Carlos needs his father. I know. Just one more deployment. Then I'll request stateside duty. But before Mike could request the transfer, Maria got pregnant again. We're having another baby, Mike. Mike was thrilled, but also scared. "Maria, I'll be here. I promise. I'll be here for this birth." Mike kept his promise. He was stateside when Maria went into labor. They went to the hospital. Everything seemed normal, but after the delivery, something went wrong. Maria started bleeding. A lot. Postpartum hemorrhage, the doctor said. "We need to stop the bleeding." Mike stood there, helpless. He was a SEAL medic. He'd performed emergency surgery in the field. He'd saved lives under fire, but he wasn't an OB. He didn't know how to stop this. The doctors worked for 2 hours, but Maria kept bleeding. Mike held her hand. "Maria, stay with me, please." Maria looked at him, weak, pale. "Take care of Carlos and the baby. Promise me. Don't talk like that. You're going to be fine." "Mike," her voice was barely a whisper. "Promise me." "I promise." Maria smiled. "I love you," and then she was gone. Mike held his newborn daughter. She was healthy, perfect, but Maria was gone. The funeral was small. Mike's SEAL team attended. Maria's family, her students sent flowers. Mike stood at the grave, holding baby in one arm. Carlos, age 2, holding his other hand. "Mama sleeping?" Carlos asked. Mike's voice broke. "Yeah, buddy, Mama's sleeping." Mike's commander approached after the funeral. "Mike, take all the time you need. We're here for you." "I'm done." "What?" "I'm leaving the SEALs." "Mike, you're one of the best combat medics we've ever had. You can't." "I saved 103 people, but I couldn't save my wife. What's the point?" "Mike, that's not fair. You're not an OB. I'm a medic." Mike's voice cracked. "I save lives, that's what I do. But the one life that mattered most, I couldn't do anything. I just stood there." The commander was quiet. Then, "Mike, Maria wouldn't want you to quit. She was proud of you. Maria's dead, and I have 2 kids who need a father. I'm done." Mike resigned from the Navy. Honorable discharge. 20 years of service. He moved to a small town in Texas, bought a modest house, and raised Carlos and baby Sophia alone. The first few years were hell. Mike didn't know how to be a single dad. Diapers, bottles, toddler tantrums. He missed Maria every day. But Carlos and Sophia needed him. So Mike learned. He cooked, cleaned, did homework, attended parent-teacher conferences. He never talked about the SEALs, never talked about Doc Rodriguez, never talked about the 103 lives he'd saved. That person was dead. Just like Maria. Now he was just Mike, a single dad trying his best. When Carlos was 10, he asked, "Dad, what did you do in the Navy?" "I was a medic. I helped people." "Did you save people?" Mike paused. "Yes." "How many?" "A lot." "Were you a hero?" Mike looked at his son. "No, Carlos. Heroes come home to their families. I left mine." Carlos didn't understand, but he didn't push. Mike needed a job. Something flexible. Something simple. Walmart was hiring. Greeter position. 12 hour. It was humbling. From Navy SEAL to Walmart greeter. But Mike didn't care. The job was easy. He could be home for the kids. That's all that mattered. For 14 years, Mike greeted customers. "Welcome to Walmart. Have a great day." Smile. Wave. Help with carts. The Walmart employees liked Mike. Friendly. Reliable. Never complained. Nobody knew his past. And Mike liked it that way. Carlos grew into a good kid. Now 16. Junior in high school. Wanted to be a doctor. "Like you, Dad. I'm not a doctor. I was a medic." "Same thing." "Not really." But Mike was proud. Carlos was smart, compassionate, everything Maria wanted. Sophia was 14. Freshman. Loved art. Wanted to be a teacher. Like her mom. Mike's life was simple. Work. Kids. Home. No drama. No trauma. No blood. Just welcome to Walmart. Until today. Saturday afternoon. 2:47 p.m. Mike was at his usual post. Walmart entrance. Greeting customers. Carlos was at the store with friends. Sophia was at home. The store was busy. Weekend rush. Families shopping. Kids running around. Then Mike heard it. Pop, pop, pop. Gunshots. Mike's SEAL training kicked in instantly. He knew that sound. He'd heard it 1,000 times. Active shooter. People screamed. Ran toward the exits. Mike's body moved on instinct. Everyone get down. Exit through the back. More shots. Pop, 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 pop. Electronics section. Near the back of the store. Mike's mind raced. Carlos was in the store. Where? Mike pulled out his phone. Called Carlos. No answer. Mike ran toward the gunfire. Every instinct screamed at him to run away. But Mike couldn't. Carlos was in there. And Mike was Doc Rodriguez, SEAL medic. He ran toward danger, not away from it. Mike reached the electronics section. Bodies on the floor. Blood everywhere. 8 people down. Some moving, some not. The shooter had fled. Police sirens in the distance. Mike's trauma hit him like a freight train. The blood, the screams, the chaos. He hadn't seen this in 14 years. He thought he'd left it behind. But here it was. Again. Mike knelt beside the first victim. Young man. Gunshot to the chest. Gasping for air, Mike's hands moved automatically. Check airway, check breathing, check circulation. Sir, stay with me. Help is coming. The man's eyes were wide with fear, blood bubbling from his lips, tension pneumothorax, collapsed lung, air trapped in chest cavity, fatal if not treated. Mike needed to do a needle decompression, release the pressure, but he didn't have his medical kit. He was a Walmart greeter, not a SEAL medic. He had nothing, except his training. Mike looked around, grabbed a pen from a Walmart employee's pocket, took it apart. Hollow tube. Sir, this is going to hurt, but I'm going to save your life. Mike made an incision between the ribs, inserted the tube. Air hissed out. The man gasped, started breathing easier. Good, you're good, stay still. Mike moved to the next victim. Woman, gunshot to the abdomen, bleeding heavily. Mike applied pressure, made a makeshift compress from a Walmart shirt. Ma'am, stay with me. What's your name? Lisa, she gasped. Lisa, you're going to be okay. I've got you. Third victim, elderly man, gunshot to the leg, femoral artery hit, bleeding out fast. Mike made a tourniquet from a belt, tightened it, stopped the bleeding. Sir, you're stable. Hang on. Fourth victim, teenage girl, gunshot to the shoulder, crying, in shock. Mike talked to her, kept her calm, applied pressure to the wound. Fifth victim, Mike froze, pregnant woman, gunshot to the abdomen, blood pooling beneath her. She was unconscious, but alive. Mike's hands started shaking. Maria, this was Maria, bleeding out, and Mike couldn't save her. Not again. Mike's vision blurred. Panic attack. PTSD. He couldn't move. Then he heard a voice. Dad. Carlos. Mike's son ran up, uninjured. Dad, are you okay? Mike looked at Carlos, then at the pregnant woman, and something broke inside him. Maria died because Mike couldn't save her. But this woman could live. If Mike didn't let his trauma win, Carlos, call 911. Tell them we have 8 GSWs. Critical. We need ambulances now. Dad, what are you? Now, Carlos. Carlos ran. Mike turned to the pregnant woman, checked her vitals. Pulse weak, breathing shallow, gunshot wound to the lower abdomen. Mike assessed. The bullet had likely hit the uterus. Possible fetal distress. The baby was at risk, and the mother was bleeding internally. Mike had minutes. Maybe. The ambulance was 10 minutes out. Too long. Mike made a decision. If the baby was in distress, Mike had to deliver. Now, in the middle of a Walmart. Emergency C-section. Mike had done it once before, in Iraq. A pregnant civilian caught in an IED blast. No hospital for 50 miles. Mike had delivered that baby in a dirt field. The mother lived. The baby lived. Mike could do it again. He had to. Mike yelled to the gathering Walmart employees. I need supplies, clean towels, rubbing alcohol, box cutters, tape, move. Employees scattered. Mike knelt beside the pregnant woman. Ma'am, my name is Mike Rodriguez. I'm a Navy SEAL medic. I'm going to save you and your baby. She couldn't hear him, but Mike needed to say it. For himself. Employees returned with supplies. Mike sterilized his hands with rubbing alcohol, ripped open a box cutter package, sterilized the blade. This was insane. A C-section in a Walmart, with a box cutter. But Mike had done crazier things in the field. He made the incision. Low transverse. Classic C-section cut. Blood welled up. Mike had no suction, no surgical tools, just his hands. He worked by feel, muscle memory from 100 battlefield surgeries. He reached the uterus, made another incision, and then he felt the baby. Mike pulled gently. The baby slid out. A girl, blue, not breathing. Mike cleared her airway, rubbed her chest, stimulated breathing. Come on, baby, come on. Nothing. Mike remembered his training, neonatal resuscitation. He gave 2 gentle rescue breaths, mouth to mouth on a newborn. The baby gasped, cried. Pink flooded her skin. She was breathing. Mike's eyes filled with tears. Good girl, good girl. He handed the baby to a Walmart employee. Keep her warm. Don't let her get cold. Then Mike turned back to the mother. She was still bleeding. He had to close the incisions. Stop the hemorrhage. Mike used Walmart sewing kits, sterilized needles, thread. He sutured the uterus, then the abdominal wall. It wasn't pretty, but it would hold until the ambulance arrived. The woman's pulse stabilized. She was alive. Mike sat back, exhausted, covered in blood. He'd done it. He'd saved them both. Paramedics rushed in, took over, loaded victims onto stretchers. One paramedic looked at Mike. Who did this? Did what? The C-section, the needle decompression, the tourniquets. Who the hell are you? Mike looked down at his blood-covered Walmart vest. I'm just a greeter. The news spread like wildfire. Walmart greeter saves 8 lives in mass shooting. Unknown hero performs emergency C-section in Walmart. Local news, then national, then international. Reporters descended on the Walmart, trying to find the greeter who'd saved everyone. Mike refused interviews, went home, showered, tried to forget, but Carlos had questions. Dad, they're saying you saved 8 people, including a pregnant woman. You delivered a baby, in Walmart. Yeah? Dad, how did you? Carlos paused. You said you were just a medic, but that's not normal medic stuff. Mike sighed. Sit down, Carlos. Carlos sat. Mike pulled out an old box from his closet, opened it. Inside, Navy SEAL trident, medals, photos in uniform, combat patches. Carlos's eyes widened. Dad, what? I wasn't just a medic, Mike said quietly. I was a Navy SEAL, Special Operations Combat Medic. 20 years. I served in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. I saved 103 lives, officially. Carlos couldn't speak. They called me Doc, because when I was there, people lived. Why didn't you ever tell me? Mike's voice broke. Because your mom died, and I couldn't save her. I was there, right beside her, and I couldn't do anything, so I quit, became a greeter, because I didn't want to be Doc anymore. I just wanted to be your dad. Carlos's eyes filled with tears. Dad, you're a hero. No, heroes save the people they love. I failed. Dad, you didn't fail. Mom died from something you couldn't control. But today, you saved 8 people, including a mom and her baby. That's not failure. That's incredible. Mike looked at his son, 16 years old, wise beyond his years. Your mom would be proud, Carlos said. Mike broke down, cried for the first time in 14 years. Carlos hugged him. It's okay, Dad. You did good. The hospital released the names of the survivors. All 8 lived. The pregnant woman Jessica Martinez, no relation to Mike, and her baby girl were in stable condition. Jessica wanted to meet Mike. Mike visited the hospital. Room 314. Jessica was in bed, holding her baby. Healthy, pink, beautiful. Mr. Rodriguez, yes, they told me what you did. You saved my life, and my daughter's life. Mike didn't know what to say. What's your daughter's name, he asked. Jessica smiled. I'm naming her Maria, after my grandmother. But also, the nurses told me you kept saying Maria while you worked. Is that? Mike's throat tightened. That was my wife's name. She died, 14 years ago, in childbirth. Jessica's eyes filled with tears. I'm so sorry. She died because I couldn't save her. But today, Mike looked at baby Maria. Today, maybe I saved her. In a way. Jessica reached out, took Mike's hand. Thank you. You gave my daughter life, and you gave me a second chance. Mike nodded. Take care of her. I will. The Navy called. Mike's old commander, Captain Stevens. Mike, I saw the news. That was incredible. Thanks. Mike, I'm going to be direct. We need you back. Mike froze. What? SEAL medics like you. There aren't many. You're a legend, and after what you did at Walmart, it's clear you haven't lost a step. Captain, I'm 48 years old. I've been a Walmart greeter for 14 years. I'm not. You're Doc Rodriguez, and Doc Rodriguez saves lives. The SEALs need you, not in combat, as an instructor, teaching the next generation. Mike thought about it. I have kids. I can't deploy. You wouldn't deploy. You'd teach at Coronado, SEAL Training Base, San Diego. Your kids could come with you. Carlos could finish high school there. Sophia too. Mike hesitated. I don't know. Mike, you're one of the best combat medics I've ever seen. You shouldn't be greeting people at Walmart. You should be teaching SEALs how to save lives. Let me think about it. That night, Mike talked to Carlos and Sophia. The Navy wants me to come back, not as a SEAL, as an instructor, teaching combat medicine. Carlos's face lit up. Dad, that's amazing. You should do it. Sophia nodded. Yeah, Dad. You're so good at saving people. You should teach others. But we'd have to move to California. Carlos shrugged. I'm okay with that, if it means you get to be Doc Rodriguez again. Sophia agreed. Dad, you've been a greeter for 14 years. For us. But we're older now. We can handle it. You should do what you love. Mike looked at his kids, 16 and 14. Not babies anymore. You sure? We're sure. Mike smiled. Then I guess Doc Rodriguez is coming back. Mike stood in front of a class of 40 SEAL trainees. Young, eager, ready to save lives. My name is Senior Chief Petty Officer Mike Rodriguez, call sign Doc. For the next 6 months, I'm going to teach you how to keep your teammates alive. The trainees listened intently. Combat medicine isn't about being a doctor. It's about making life or death decisions in seconds, under fire, with limited supplies, and never giving up. Mike clicked to the next slide, a photo of a Walmart, blood on the floor. 6 months ago, I was a Walmart greeter. There was a mass shooting, 8 people down, 1 pregnant woman bleeding out, no medical supplies, just me and a box cutter. The trainees leaned in. I delivered that baby in the middle of Walmart. Mother and baby lived. All 8 victims lived. Mike looked at the class. Why am I telling you this? Because you will face impossible situations. You will have nothing, no supplies, no backup, just your training and your will to save lives. He paused. I've saved 103 lives in my career. Officially, probably more, but the most important life I ever saved, that baby, Maria, because 14 years ago, I couldn't save my own wife. She died in childbirth, and I blamed myself. The room was silent, but that day at Walmart, I realized something. I can't save everyone, but I can save someone, and that's enough. Mike looked at the trainees. Your job is to bring people home, alive, Do whatever it takes, use whatever you have, and never ever give up. The trainees nodded. After class, a young trainee approached. Senior Chief, that was inspiring. Can I ask, do you still think about the ones you couldn't save? Mike thought about Maria. Every day. Does it get easier? No, but you learn to honor them by saving the next person. That's how you carry them with you. The trainee nodded. Thank you, Senior Chief. By evening, Mike called Jessica Martinez, the woman from Walmart. Hey Jessica, how's baby Maria? She's perfect, growing so fast. How are you? Good, I'm teaching at the SEAL training base now. That's wonderful, you're going to save so many lives, by teaching others. I hope so. Mike, can I tell you something? Of course, every night I hold Maria and I think about you, about how you saved us. You gave me a second chance at life, and you gave my daughter life. That's a gift I can never repay. Mike's voice was thick. Just love her. That's enough. I will, always. Mike hung up, looked at the photo on his desk. Maria, his wife, smiling, holding baby Carlos. I couldn't save you, Mike whispered, but I saved someone else's Maria. I hope that makes you proud. Mike felt a sense of peace. For the first time in 14 years, he was Doc Rodriguez again, not because he was a SEAL, but because he saved lives and taught others to do the same. Maria would be proud. The end.